Namaste all viewers. Welcome to this 5th year of celebration, annual celebration on account of Adi Shankara Acharya Jayanti every year. I will start with a few prayers and then start the session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yasya Vedamayi Vani Yasya Devamayi Tanu Yasya Brahmamayi Drishti Saguru Patumam Sada Saguru Patumam Sada Saguru Patumam Sada Shlokardena Pravakshyami Yaduktam Grantha Kotimhi Brahma Satyam Jagadmithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha Kim Jyotistava Bhanumana Hanime Ratro Pradipadikam Syadevam Ravidipa Darshana Vidau Kim Jyotirakya Hime Chakshustasya Nimilanadi Samaye Kindhir Yo Darshane Kintatrahamato Bhavan Paramkam Jyotistadasmi Prabho न निरोधोर न चोत्पत्तिर न बद्धो न च साधकः न मुमुक्षुर न मयि मुक्तः इत्येषः परमार्थतः. Today's speaker and today's lecture is third in a series. Swamini Brahmaprajnananda ji. She is going to speak to us on Laghu Vritti. Swamini, for the benefit of viewers who did not join the first two lectures of Swamini Brahmaprajnananda ji, or for the benefit of the viewers who are coming for the first time for this third lecture, Swamini Brahmaprajnananda ji Saraswati has dedicated her life to sharing the timeless teachings of Advaita Vedanta and Dharma. She conducts Vedanta courses, podcasts, and retreats for the groups in Mumbai and for the people across the world online. Her teachings seamlessly flow from the areas of self-growth to self-discovery, a wide spectrum. A disciple of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, she has studied Vedanta and Sanskrit in full-time residential 3 years and was part of the students of Swami Brahmavidananda ji. Swamini is a former psychologist, and in her last leadership position as the country head of an international organization, impacted the lives of more than 15,000 street children annually. Over to you, Swamini ji. Please start your lecture.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So this being the third in the series of Laghu Vakya Vritti, we look back at what we have done so far, which is that this young man, Jiva, goes to Uttarkashi, or perhaps Gangotri, to meet God. And a sadhu there says, unless you introduce yourself, I cannot take you to meet Bhagavan. And so the Jiva attempts to introduce himself. Whatever the Jiva says is a description, not a definition. Because by its very nature, a definition is that which cannot change. A definition about you is something that always is not subject to change. So, as the sadhu come Acharya is discussing this with the Jiva, he points out that all that you have described is the sthula sharira, the gross body, the sukshma sharira, the subtle body, and the ignorance that you are talking about, that is the karana sharira. Further, all the suffering that you experience is because of the many judgments you have placed on yourself and by others in society. And as a result of which, you are confusing the world of name and form with yourself. You are much more than this Nama Rupa. And he introduces the word Chidabhasa and Shuddha Chittaha. So, Chidabhasa is basically reflected consciousness, or another word for the mind, which pervades the entire body in that sense, unlike modern science. And Shuddha Chittaha is consciousness. It is that you which is not subject to any kind of change. Body is changing, mind is changing, prana is changing, identities are changing, your roles are changing, your thoughts are changing, but there is seemingly something about you that is not changing. That is consciousness which has no limits. So then, he also points out that there are these gunas, different names and forms in the Jagat. Even gunas, like qualities about you, all of that, whether we talk about raga dvesha, certain cravings and aversions, all these are changes, and all changes are sustained by Bhagavan. So by Ishvara Srishti. No change can happen in isolation. Any change at the level of the body mind, at any change at the level of the world, are all changes in name and form. There are no changes that are taking place at the level of consciousness, that is you. So the point is that consciousness, that is you, is present in each and every cognition, each and every thought. You are looking all over the place. Where is this consciousness? Where is this Atma? Hello, it is you. So to appreciate that better, there are two verses, again, very beautiful metaphors given of pearls that have been strung together. So we look at the the verses. Yeah. Okay. See. This is where we stopped. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, our attention is caught up by rupa, by guna, different qualities. Like even in terms of our own selves, when you look at yourself, we're caught up, right? Whenever you look at the mirror, you're always trying to find out what is not okay. So all that, too much attention on name and form, but not on the isness that is always there. Okay, what else? Shane shane anyatha bhutadhi vikalpaschitirna tu mukta susutravad buddhihi vikalpeshu chitistatha. Every moment, shane shane, moment by moment, dhi vikalpaha, the different cognitions, different thoughts are changing all the time. But chitihi na, that, but there is something that is other than the changes in cognitions that is not changing, which is chitti. Chitti, another word for consciousness. Then, how to understand this? Like the sutra, the thread that is there, it is free. The thread is free, but like the buddhi vikalpa, like the pearls in a string, it consciousness is there as the string, And there is one pearl of cognition after another. But our attention is on the pearls. Our attention is on conscious, on the thoughts and the emotions and the decisions and the confusion and the procrastination and whatever else. And we lose sight of the thread which is there in each, or rather in and through all the pearls. Something more is said about this. Mukta bhiravritam sutram muktayor ikshate tatha vritti vikalpaischit spashta madhye vikalpayoho. So the sutra, the thread, is there very much, and it can be seen ikshate, between muktayoho, between these different pearls, you can see it, but it is hidden. You have to pay like really close attention to what is it that is stringing the pearls. So same thing, we have to pay close attention to watch what is between each and every cognition. So too, that's what exactly I was just saying, that between the buddhi vikalpa, between the different kinds of thoughts, decisions. So today is the weekend. What shall we do? So, oh, IPL is over. So last few weeks have been very, very busy. Now we have to think of what else to do for the weekend. Maybe we should attend Global Festival of Oneness talks. So we'll catch up with the talks. Okay, some decision is there. Then some phone call is there, and you get an invitation to meet with your school friends. So now another decision is to be taken, right? So, like that, all the time, in response to the different situations that are occurring in our lives, we are responding with our thoughts, our ideas, our decisions, and so on. But what is in and through all of this? Chitti, spashta. It is very, very clear that between these cognitions there is consciousness. Okay. So now, what more is being said? Well, we dwell on this. We tend to believe everything the mind says, right? That's why we give it so much importance. But just for a moment, think, if this mind was converted into a being who is sitting by your side, okay, is present for the entire day, probably doesn't let you sleep in the night, is constantly commenting, right? So you look around and you say, the walls have to be painted. Those piles of books are there, but some people are coming over for dinner. So we'll just put one tablecloth on top of it. I have no time to clear this pile. What shall we do? So, like that, you look around, you are talking to people constantly, there is chattering. Why? Because you cannot control the external environment. Therefore, you seek to control the internal narrative, right? And so we get so caught up with the different thoughts, plus the reacting to the thoughts, plus I should not have this thought, and that one should not be like this, and this one should be like this, I should be different, etc., etc. That the fact that the vritti is changing shane shane constantly, which is being sustained by Maya Shakti, Ishvara. But what is it that is not changing? So thought of Ishvara comes, thought of puja comes, thought of puja, the girl next door comes, then thought of the fact that she owes you money comes, then one more feeling comes that I have given money to so many people, they have not returned it to me. The thoughts are coming, they don't have a life of their own and they go away. One thought comes, tata, bye bye, goes away. Then, what is it that observes the change, the flow of thoughts? It is you, Chitti. So, which is there in each and every thought. So, just provisionally, I am saying this. Every thought is existence plus a form. Now, this plus form actually doesn't make sense, but that's why I said it's provisional. Because the form has also come from existence. So, when we say that everything here is sustained by Bhagavan, that is not something to be glossed over. That all forms, you go to Taittiriya Upanishad, our definition of Bhagavan is so pakka. So from Tatastha Lakshanam standpoint, that there's a definition that is pointing to the nature of Brahman, but from the standpoint of the Jagat, the world. What is that? Yato va imani bhutani jayante, ye na jatani jivanti, yat prayantyabhisamvishanti ti, tat vijiknyasasva, tad brahmeti. So please inquire into this. What is that? Tat, tat, tat pronoun for that. Yataha imani bhutani jayante, that from which all beings are born. Then yena jatani jivanti, that by which all the beings, all the names, all the forms, all the functions are sustained. Then yat prayantyapi samvishanti, so that into which everything resolves in deep sleep, during pralaya, and so on and so on. So pakka our definition of Bhagwan is. So all the different thoughts that you are experiencing, they are all Bhagavad Shakti, they are all Maya Shakti. And that where we had seen that last time, wherever Maya Shakti is, there alone Bhagavan is. So when I say a thought is existence plus a form, very, very subtle form that you are able to see without eyes. That plus form actually comes from consciousness, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahman. So really speaking, that plus form doesn't make sense. That's why I said provisionally I will use it and then I will drop it. So then what is the nature of your thought? What is it about your thought that never, ever changes, which is always there? It is existence. Is existence a property of a given thought? No. Has the thought created it? No. Is it a process that a thought has given rise to? No. It is you. It is consciousness. It is chitti. And the form, the so-called form, which is nothing, nothing in the sense, it's just some subtle form that has emerged from existence, consciousness, that is you. It, like a wave in the ocean, it appears, it goes, but the abiding adhishtanam, that is water, always you are there. And you will say, oh, but I'm always there, but my thoughts are also there, always they are there. No. In sushupti, in deep sleep, your thoughts are not there. Okay, thankfully, we get a break. Everyone gets a break, right? However tragic the person's life is, you get a break in deep sleep. Nothing exists for you, or so you think, but you are the one that objectifies the nothingness. So you are obviously there. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse which reflects the same, shloka we have seen. Mattav parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam prottam sutram manigana iva. So there is nothing that is Na anyat kinchit mattav parataram. Other than me, there is nothing that is higher than this. And all of this Sarvamidam Jagat is consistently presented in the Shastra. Okay, all this that we see, we experience, it is my protam. It is all strung in me, just like a money, just like pearls on a sutra, on a string. Okay, so Bhagwan says this, all these forms, they are sustained by me. What is my nature, or what is the nature of Bhagwan? It is nothing but Chiti. What is my nature? My nature, as in that about me, which never changes, that also is Chiti. Forms are there, forms are changing, because the gunas are there, and Maya is Trigunatmika. So all this play goes on. Guna Guneshu Vartante. So you say, oh, I have such great connection with a person. All Guna Guneshu Vartante. One set of gunas is interacting with another set of gunas. There is some harmony. So you say, oh, I have such fantastic connection. Then with someone else, you say, oh my God, I'm always fighting with this person. I open my mouth to talk and I just end up fighting. Again, Guna Guneshu Vartante, one set of gunas is interacting with another set of gunas. That's all. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, all the time. But what is it that is in and through? Always present, it is you, Chittihi, consciousness. Now, okay, thoughts get affected, they change. What about this Chitti? What about this consciousness? Does it change ever? No, it doesn't change. And so we use a word kutasthaha. Then, but the mind is changing. But the mind, we have already said, is Chidabhasa. Okay, reflected consciousness. We confuse the mind for consciousness. So there are two things that are happening. I am illumining my mind, but my mind is pervaded by consciousness. Without me, consciousness, chitti, the mind would be jadam, inert. So I am the one that lends reality to the mind. I am the one that sees the flow of thoughts. The thoughts depend on me. I do not depend on the thoughts. I remain unaffected by whatever series of thoughts that occur. How can you say that? I am sad. That I am. Okay, that is what our attention needs to be on. But we are so caught up with the form. I am sad, I am angry, I don't feel good, I feel good. And we're always trying to manage the form. No matter how much you manage the form, it is going to change because that is the nature of the form. And the only way is to shift our attention to the formlessness that is you. And then the forms can have their play, and that's okay. And we will use the forms well. See, all Vedantins, uh, true Vedantins, okay, who have learned traditionally, are very effective people, are extremely dharmika people. They do not dismiss people, they do not dismiss dharma, they have the right understanding of the place of dharma in everyone's life. But those who don't understand this, they will be quick to dismiss dharma, they will be quick to dismiss their own behavior, but not other people's behavior. Okay, so some double standards will occur if Vedanta is not understood correctly. So, recognizing that I am the one that is illumining all thoughts, but my attention is on the thought. What to do? 30 years of experience. No, lifetimes of experience we have of focusing on the form, focusing on the thought. So, our even when you look at the garland, you look at the flowers. If you look at a pearl necklace, you are going to look at the pearls. You're not going to look at the string. And that is a correct thing in Vyavahara, okay? Then wherever experiences are there, are you going to shift your attention to the experiencer, the reality of the experiencer? No, you're just going to focus on all your experiences. So our attention becomes externally focused. In fact, the Upanishad says, Paranchi khani vyatrinat swayam bhuhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhiraha pratyagaatmanam aikshat avritta chakshu amritatvam ichan. Only a person who desires amritatvam, who desires to recognize that I was never born, I've never died, I am immortal, only that person looks, turns the attention inward. Avritta chakshuhu. So why such a person does that? Because paranchikhani, our sense organs are all externally focused, right? The moment you open your eyes, you're looking at something, then there is association. You look at the chair, and then you think, oh, this chair is becoming old. Maybe I have to change upholstery or something. Or, oh, I don't like this plastic chair. I think I should replace it. Some association is there. So, like that, I'm just talking about the eyes. You're hearing things, you're smelling things. All the time, our attention is focused on external objects. And therefore, we are busy managing the world of forms. Our attention is not on Antaratman or Pratyagatma. So then what to do? Only some very, very few people, Kaschid Dhiraha, who really want Amritatvam, who have been there, done that, who have tried to seek immortality, eternity in a grain of sand or eternity in names and forms, have recognized, no, I cannot, I have tried all this, it doesn't work. Then you may say, no, I will turn my attention inward. You might just get caught up with internal experiences, right? So I'm trying to shift my prana here. I'm focusing my attention on this chakra or something you will do, which is all okay, right? But the Atma is not an experience. It is you. If it was an experience, it will come and go. Then it stops being the Atma. It will become Anatma. Okay. So even in a meditation class, suppose you go, okay, say, okay, I have to turn my attention inward. So you close your eyes. Then you're so impatient, right? You're not used to keeping your eyes closed and same instruction again and again. Oh, okay. Then you're curious. So then you open your eyes. Then you want to know, okay, like are the other people's eyes are also closed, or because you're feeling sleepy, then you say, oh, others are also feeling sleepy. But just quickly you do that, and you hope that the meditation or the teacher guru is not looking at you. So you attempted avritta chakshuhu, you will look inward, but attention is still paranchikhani and still outward all the time, evaluating yourself, evaluating others, and planning, right? So we shift our attention to the string, the sutra. What is there between two vrittis? What is there between two cognitions? Because cognitions or thoughts are not opposed to the consciousness that you are, right? So you don't have to wait for your thoughts to die down for you to recognize consciousness. So, what else does Acharya say? How can we go about this? Nashte purvavikalpe tu yavadanyasya nodayah nirvikalpaka chaitanyam spashtam tavad vibhasate. So the time span between two thoughts, okay, one vikalpa then other vikalpa, is very minute. So what he's saying is, the first thought, okay, let's say thought of, oh, I'm after this session, I'm going to have coffee. One thought, okay, purva vikalpa. Then it is, then you say, oh, uh, maybe I will have water instead. Okay. Second thought. So purva vikalpa nashte, one thought has subsided. Then other thought, no, I think I will just drink water. Between the gap, anyasya na udayaha, it has not risen. What is, there is something there. What is something? Oh, no, there is nothing. Hey, you can't say nothing between two thoughts. You are there. How you can say nothing? For you to cognize nothing, something has to be there. Between two thoughts, however infinitesimal the moment is, nirvikalpaka chaitanyam, that is you, spashtam vibhasate. So the consciousness that is you, between the two thoughts, between this buddhi vikalpa, always there, always shines. It shines. When I say it shines, I don't mean it as a verb. Because if it is a verb, right, it is an action, then it is subject to mood, it is subject to changing, it is subject to degree. Today I will shine, tomorrow I may not shine. Okay. Today I will shine little brighter, maybe 30 watts. Later on, maybe 50 watts. No. Shines as in this is the nature that everything gets illumined, everything is made aware of. That I consciousness always present, always awareness. Because of me, everything else gets lit up. Okay. So what else? I will just talk a little bit about this and then we'll dwell on it. Ekadvitrikshaneshvevam vikalpasya nirodhanam क्रमेणाभ्यस्यतां यत्नात् brahmanubhavakankshibhihi. So what is to be done is, first though we don't even recognize one thought, two thought, three thoughts, because it's all just one after the other. It's so relentless. So what we do is, japa really helps in this. Okay, so some mantra you will use for that. First, you see the gap between two thoughts. One moment. Then, as you keep watching that gap, the gap increases. Initially, it was just 1 second. Then it might increase to 2. Then it might increase to 3. So like that, what we do is, we do nirodhanam of vikalpaha. This is a mastery of the mind. And who should do this, or for whom is it recommended? Only for those who want to recognize, experience Brahman. So for us, Anubhava, Bhava Paschat, you are there. Okay, Bhava, Bhusattayam, you are present. You recognize that you are present. I am. That is Anubhava. Okay, Anubhava generally in all local languages we translate as experience. In Sanskrit also we translate as experience. But the Brahmanubhava is not one experience like eating an ice cream. Why? Because ice cream you will start, then it is so hot, so hot, so hot, it will melt. Some will go inside. Then ice cream experience is over. Brahmanubhava experience is over. This is not an experience that starts and ends. It is the very experience of living, or if we want to use the word experience, That experience that is present in all experiences, that is you, it is Brahmanubhava. So those who are seeking this knowledge, what do they do? Slowly, slowly, you please practice. Practice looking at the gap between the different vikalpas. Okay. So, how to go about all this? I'm not very clear. No worries. First, do you recognize that uh, between one thought and the other thought, you are there? Do you recognize that? That's great. Uh, Puja Swamiji, Swami Dayanand ji once met Yogi Ramaya, who was uh, present in Arunachala. So one great yogi, and who mentioned to Puja Swamiji that for restlessness you have to work a lot, but for shanti, what is there to do? Nothing. So whatever be the nature of your cognition, you see a microbe. Does the consciousness, the chaitanyam that is you, does it change? No. You see a galaxy huge via this Hubble telescope. Does the awareness consciousness change in response to the object? No. So this restraint of thoughts, yoga darshana, which is another darshana different from Vedanta, might say that, oh, all the vrittis have to be stilled. But for us, we we don't need the vrittis to be stilled. Okay. It's like earlier there used to be these moron jokes. Now to use the word moron, people will say, my God, you're not politically correct, because how you can shame someone on the basis of intelligence. So this is all wokeism. So anyway, uh, so this person was sitting on the beach waiting. Then another person says, hey, you have been on the beach for 4 hours. What are you doing? So then this moron, okay, from earlier generation, I'm using the word. What did he say? He said, I am waiting for the waves to die down so that I can see water. Do you have to wait for the waves of your thoughts to die down to see the consciousness that you are? Yes or no? No, no, my thoughts are very disturbing. Present in each and every thought, there is consciousness. So maybe you may say, oh, the wave is all uproarious, or the ocean is shanta, it is quiet, or it is uproarious, like big, roaring ocean it is. But the water in it is always there. Okay, it may appear differently. So when it is being said that I am not my thoughts, understand this well. In Sanskrit, the akara we will use uh, in 6 different ways. Okay, so in English, that not, not doesn't have so many meanings. But in Sanskrit, this akara, where we prefix the word, where it may mean not something, has different meanings. So one of the meanings is absence. So if you say, I am not my thought, that means a thought does not exist. But that is not the sense in which it is used in Vedanta. So I am not my thought means I am other than the thoughts. The thoughts exist. They don't exist independently. They depend on me, but I am other than the thoughts. Vyatiriktaha. Okay, there are other meanings. We don't need to see it right now. So, am I able to see that I am that consciousness that is between thoughts? Oh, but I have to lose weight, right? So, Lose weight means now that I am got connected to the body. So Annamaya modification. Annamaya is modification of Annam, body. So your identity is now caught up in the folds of your belly. Or do you see the vision? No, I maybe, but I will die. Now this I will die, that I am has got caught up with pranamaya, with this modification of prana, that you believe you are the prana, but you are much more than that. Do you see that you are consciousness? Oh, but I feel sad. Sometimes I see, sometimes I don't. I feel sad. That feel sad is identity with your mind, manomaya kosha. So modification of the mind, you think you are the mind, okay, or the feelings, right? Do you see that you are conscious? But I feel I have not done enough in my life. Ah, so this I got identified with karta, with the doer, with vijnanamaya kosha, identity of yourself as doing lots of activities. Do you see your consciousness? But I don't feel happy all the time. Ah, so you that I am got identified with the degrees of ananda in response to different situations, and I am not able to recognize I am that formless, boundless. So, what to do? Kramena abhyasa, by viveka, by again and again discriminating, discerning that these are different forms, these are different modifications sustained by Maya Shakti, sustained by Bhagwan. I am different from all of this. Okay, but when do you get to this inquiry? First, we have to manage the forms. For that, we need Karma Yoga, right? Without Karma Yoga as a disposition, without inviting Bhagwan into your life, Bhagwan is always there. You just have to recognize you cannot manage all the different forms, because there are so many expectations, so many desires of oneself, of other people. And so this ahankara, this self-concept that is constantly struggling, getting offended by what other people are saying, who is a karta bhokta, who is a doer and an experiencer, has to convert into a bhakta, a devotee. It is a devotee who recognizes I am always connected with Bhagwan, who can offer one's karma unto Bhagwan. So, in the context of Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. So, then that karta, the doer who is always affected, who is offended, who is hurt, who is guilty, now starts to change. Because then, being a bhakta, the person can engage in the inquiry of the ahankara and see that really speaking, the ahankara, the self concept, is the atma, the self. And all this other stuff was all name and form only. So then recognizing atma is akarta, atma is abhokta, never the doer, never the experiencer, always the consciousness in and through all different cognitions. So then I shine and everything else shines after me. I see this again and again. Now, in Vedanta, we are not trying to remove our thoughts, nor are we trying to gather thoughts. So, sometimes in Yoga Darshana, this may be presented that you are trying to still the mind, you are trying to remove thoughts, you are trying to get to empty mind and all that. Here we are saying whether your mind is empty, whether your mind is full, you are consciousness in and through, present in each and every cognition. Bodham bodham pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate Kenopanishad. Bodham bodham in each and every cognition. But I don't have very nice thoughts. I can't tell anyone about it. Whatever be your thoughts, whatever be your feelings, whatever be your memories, you as consciousness, as the limitless, are present as existence in each and every form. So Vedanta is not asking you to still your mind. Vedanta is just saying, you learn to manage your life with karma yoga. And then as a bhakta, as a jignasu, as the one who is wanting to discover the truth of oneself, may you do Vedanta vichara. So moksha is not gained by emptying the mind. Moksha is gained by Vedanta vichara. Okay. So then what do? So japa is an indispensable part of everyone's sadhana, because with the repetition of the mantra, you are invoking the grace of the deity, and you mention the word, the deity, the devata is present to bless you. So because 90% of our thoughts are repetitive, so we give new thought to the mind. Okay. So Namah Shivaya. From one Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. The gap may increase, but what is there in the gap? I am there. Shanai Shanai Ruparabhed Buddhya Vritti Grihitaya Atma Samstammana Kritva Nakinchidapi Chintayet. So what do? Shanaihi, Shanaihi, slowly, slowly, with great effort, you try to master the mind. Then you will be rooted in this mastery. Don't give up because some difficulty you are experiencing. Okay. So this is done by those who desire moksha. Okay. Then is a very important verse, which is reflecting a section of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay, the 13th verse. Savikalpa Jeev Savikalpa Jeevoyam Brahma Tannirvikalpakam Aham Brahmeti Vakyena Soyamartho Vidhiyate. So the one who has so much vikalpa, savikalpa jivaha ayam, this person who has all these stream of thoughts, stream of memories, ideas, feelings. Who is that? I am Brahma. What is the nature of this Brahma? That nirvikalpakam, that which is not subject to any change. And that being recognizes Aham Brahma. So Aham Brahmasmi is the Mahavakya present in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Saha ayam arthaha abhidhiyate. So do I have to cut down all thoughts? But for teaching, thoughts are necessary. So in correspondence with the teaching, you have a corresponding thought in your mind. So thoughts are very important. Thoughts are not to be dismissed. At the same time, they don't have to be given exaggerated importance, right? Because we see what is in and through all of the thoughts. So now, little context. Aham Brahmasmi is a Mahavakya present in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. What does this mean? That I am not the suffering jiva, okay, who is struggling with the mind. So in the first adhyaya, the fourth section, so between the 7th and the 10th mantra, this Aham Brahmasmi occurs. So the whole section really is talking about the fact that the universe was undifferentiated, then it got differentiated into name and form. Then further it talks about, that Atma is the dearest to everyone, I is the dearest to everyone. No, but my family is very dear, my children are very dear. But if they stop pleasing you, If they stop giving you sukha, then you may not want to interact with them much. Okay, this is our experience. So sukham is most dear to me, and sukham happiness is my nature. That sukham is not necessarily experiential. It includes experiential ananda. Ananda means ananta, limitless. So in that moment of ananda, we get a glimpse of there being no separation between me, the subject, and the object. So my ananda, that or ananda that is me, manifests in different experiences depending on my raga dvesha. Depending on, oh, no, no, I like chocolate, therefore I have chocolate ananda. Or someone else likes Karela, bitter gourd, or I have Karela Ananda. Okay. But Karela does not uniformly give Ananda to everyone, only some people. Which means what? That Ananda is not an ingredient of Karela, this bitter gourd. Okay. That in connection with Karela, I experience Ananda. So if it is subjective, if it is conditional, it doesn't come from the object. And if I have no problem with any object in the world, then the Ananda that I am may manifest. Our primary love is for Sukha, that is Ananda. We don't complain. I wish I was less happy today, okay, because it feels so natural to us. So, in this section of Brihadaranyaka, there are some seekers who gather and they say, we have heard through the knowledge of Brahman, one can become Sarvam all. Who knows the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi? They ask a question. The Upanishad answers. Brahman alone knows Aham Brahmasmi. Answer is very simple. So Brahma va idam agra asit atmanam eva avet. Brahman, this Atma was Brahman in the beginning, okay, agre asit, and it knew itself as I am Brahman, aham brahmasmi, tasmat tat sarvam abhavat. Then what? Then therefore it became all. So this is little puzzling. How like this? Here the word agre is used, agre means beginning, in the beginning. When it is used in Chandogya, sadeva saumya idamagra asit, there it is, in the beginning means before Srishti. Here, agre means in the beginning is in ajnana avastha. Jnanat purvam, before jnanam. Before jnanam, what was that? I was Brahman. Then Jiva, okay, during ajnana avastha, brahmaiva asmi. So although the person is ajnani, so this is the fun stuff that happens. Okay, the student who is Brahman goes to the teacher who is Brahman, okay, and says, I want to learn. So, how, but why the person doesn't know? The person doesn't know because of ajnanam, ajnana avasthayam. So then in the wake of knowledge, the person just discovers that I thought I didn't know. I thought that my suffering was real. I thought this world was absolutely real. Now I know that I am the only reality. I as consciousness, everything else depends on me. The aham brahmasmi. So that aham was earlier caught in the folds of your stomach. Aham only referred to this form. But now this aham is sarvam. Every form, every name, every function, every person is included, every being is included in aham. So aham brahmasmi, that all that is here, that we are experiencing as names and forms, is what? It is Brahman. And that Brahman that limitless is aham. It is that consciousness that is always you, irrespective of whatever is going on in your life. So when I say in your life, I am talking about the life of the ahankara. So all that was here was Brahman in the beginning, but jivas being anadi, beginningless, they, due to avidya, thought they were a Brahman. Okay, they thought they were parichinnatvam, parichinna, they thought they were limited, they were small, but that smallness was adhyastam, was superimposed on the limitless that one is. So then what happened? They gained knowledge. Is gaining knowledge of Brahman like gaining information that this is a red wall? No. Just like when a sculptor sculpts the murti, there is one big, like this Arun Yogiraj, our wonderful sculptor of Ramalalla. Okay. So much research was done on the stone. And after that, when he started to sculpt, Sri Rama was present in the stone. What did the sculptor do? He only removed what was not Rama, right? So when the student is exposed to Vedanta, the student is not gaining information. The student is not gaining concepts. Okay, it may appear like that. All the teacher is doing is what you were holding on to as your identity, what the forms you were holding on to, the names, the identities, the roles, the responsibilities. The teacher is only pointing out that all this is changing and there is something that is not changing, and that something happens to be you. So, really speaking, no new information is gained because you already know I am Swata Siddha, Swata Prakashaha, you are self illumining, you are always present. But what you associated with. So, na iti, neti neti, to negate all that is murta, all that is amurta, Brihadaranyaka. So, murta meaning all that has forms and all that is manifest and all that is unmanifest. Neti neti iti vakya. This is the only way you can know Atma, you can know Brahman, because Atma, Anatma seems to be mixed up. Anatma has come from Atma only, but because it is seemingly mixed up, there is a need for Viveka, and that in and through all forms, may I recognize Aham Brahmasmi. So I was always Brahman. I will always be Brahman. And then I can do with some clarity. So this is nobody can take this away from you. Nobody can add to you. You cannot add to it. Nobody else can add to it. This is who you are. This is the Mahavakya. And we dwell on this truth. So more about this we shall see in the next and the last session next week. Om Tat Sat.
Namaste, namaste. Thank you, Swamini ji. The pinnacle of Advaita Vedanta is Ado Brahma Hamasmiti Anubhav Udite Sarvam Khalvamidam Brahma Tat Paschat. The process is most important. The process which you biggest take home for me from this lecture was Shanai Shanai. Slowly and slowly. It's not going to happen like binarily in one life, perhaps. Asmin Janmani Janmantareva. That was really very nice. Thank you. Viewers also appreciated it. They said that all the lectures are well curated. Very nice. Thanks once again. Viewers, please join in the evening for another session. Adi Shankaracharya's Traditions of Care. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.